to the fifth and final game in our Walking Dead style Defender game. So far we've got the game to skip through levels. One of the things that's not too good though is we've only got 15 arrows. As soon as we reach those arrows, the game ends. So I'd like to make an amendment to that so that we can get new arrows. But first of all, we'll put new sounds in. If you go to the Click Team website and go to Support and Resources, you'll find lots of new sound packs that you can use. And I downloaded some of the sounds and I've quickly picked one or two that we'll use in the game. I've copied the sounds to my game folder. So I'm going to go to Control and E and basically apply sounds. It's pretty straightforward really. We've got a collision between an arrow and an enemy, so I can just click play a sample and browse to a file, and I picked that sound, so that should work now. So I press F7 just to test the frame I'm in. We've got 3 frames, so when I fire an arrow now, you can hear him. I've also got, did notice in one of the game packs there was an arrow sound. So upon pressing the space bar, I might as well go for samples, play a sample, browse, and I noticed in sound pack 1 sounds, and there was one called arrow. So I'll go for that one. So if I press F7 again to test my game, I'll fire. So there we are. The only problem I've got really is I need to find a way to work out how to add more arrows into the game. So what I need to do, and you'll notice I've gone into minus, the game hasn't ended. That's because I've pressed F7 and I'm just testing the frame I'm in. If I press F8, just to show you, it's quite a mistake that people can make. I made it myself where I thought something's not working. If I press S to start, I quickly lose all my arrows. You see the game will end. The game does end. F7 won't end the game, it'll just test what I'm in. So I put some sounds in. There's a number of ways we could make the game a little bit better. One thing I want to show you though is that when an arrow hits the ground, we lose an arrow because we put an active object in. But when we hit the enemy, you notice that the arrow hits the enemy and still goes through to the ground. We want to destroy the enemy with the arrow when it hits somebody. So what I've already got a rule is when the arrow hits the ground, destroy it. When the arrow hits the enemy, destroy it. We don't want it to, what we don't want is it for it to hit the enemy and then hit the ground, because it's recording 2 different actions. So what we could do is we could say, every time there's a collision between the arrow and the enemy, destroy the arrow and add to counter 1. So if I click OK, and I press F7 just to test that function within the game, you should notice now every time I hit the enemy, my arrow will go up by 1. So it's gone up. I just hit him now. It's gone up to 16, 17, 18, 19. So the arrow's gone up. The only problem is that the more you score, the more frantic the game gets. You can just keep pressing arrows all the time, and the game's not that difficult. So I think it would be better to put in a different type of rule. So I'll delete that one. And if you go to the games folder and have a look in miscellaneous, in game objects, I think it's 3, you notice you could pick anything really, but there's a health pack. So I do Control M and quickly put health pack in. Make it a bit bigger. What we could do is we could say every time you hit this health pack you get 5 new arrows. So let's put the health pack there, and then let's do it so that it's the path, and edit the path, and we need an arrow. We need to get it to follow a line. I want to make sure it reaches the door because I need to disappear then. So that's okay. So if I do Control E now, I'll need to put some new rules in really. So let's have a look. We can do insert, because I don't want it to be in these levels, I want it to be up the top. So I can do insert a new line of an event, and I can say collision between another object and a door, and I can click OK. So let's put it in there. Collision between that and the door. I want to destroy it, so it disappears. And I also need to put a new one in. So if I was to click there, for example, and if I click there and I do insert line of event, and I do collision between the arrow and the health pack, so then collision between the arrow and the health pack, I will do add to counter. Let's do 5 arrows. So now if I run the game, it won't be too good. All you'll see is one health pack immediately shoot across the screen and hit the door and disappear. But that's it. It's not going to appear anymore. So again, I need to use a timer. So I can do, if I click there, just at the top, insert a new line of an event, and I can do timer, and I can say let's say every 7 seconds. So every 7 seconds, create an object, and we'll create the extra health, and it'll ask me where I want to make it. So I want to start it there. Click OK. So every 7 seconds now, we're going to see that appear. So every 7 seconds, it's going to make a new object, and if there's a collision between the arrow and the extra health, I want to destroy it and add 5 to the counter. So if I run my game now, just to test if the counter goes up. So let's wait. Because my game's running on a virtual machine, it's slow. I need to I missed it, so I got to wait another 7 seconds. And you notice my arrows went down. I'm down to 9 arrows. If I wait for it to come back, it's gone up to 18. So it's working. It's adding the arrows I need. And everything else seems to be working. If I wait for one more of those health packs to come, and it's gone up. So it's working nicely, and the game works a bit better now. Just remember, when I press F7, and this is a common mistake to make, the arrows, when I use up all my arrows, it's going to go into minus, and when my lives run out, they're gonna go as well. But that's because I'm pressing F7 and I'm just working on the frame I'm in. One thing I did do before I started this tutorial, I changed the number of lives to 2, so that's why you're seeing 2 different from previous lessons. So if I now go for F7, which tests the one I'm in, I didn't want to do that. If I press F8, you should notice now the game will function fully from the start. So I press S, and now I'm playing the game properly this time. So I'll have a look what I can score. I got the health pack. The health pack gave me more arrows. Yeah, I hit the health pack. It may be every 7 seconds, maybe too much for the health pack. Although I'm running out. There we are. I hit 0 and it ended. Put my name in. There we are, 15. So now the game works properly as it would be expected. I hope you found that useful, and thank you very much for listening to that series of tutorials.